There are tons of icon fonts out there. I'm going to talk about 3 that I use often and one resource that I found to be incredibly useful. The first icon font that I want to talk about is fontawesome. While saying that fontawesome is awesome would be redundant, it really is. It extends the number of icons you have access to from a couple dozen to more than 300. When fontawesome was first introduced after Bootstrap 2 was released, it used the same CSS naming patterns, icon and icon name. This was good if you wanted to quickly replace the glyph icon set with the fontawesome equivalents of the same icons. When Bootstrap 3 came out and changed the base icon class and prefix to glyph icon, fontawesome followed suit and prefixed their icons with FA. This prevents against CSS conflicts, but it creates a bit more work if you've already started using Bootstrap classes in your project. In Museum Core, I use fontawesome because it gives me a lot of different icons to choose from, which translates into a lot of possibilities for users and child themes. You can download fontawesome either from their website, fontawesome.io, or from their GitHub project. I use the Sublime text extension fetch to pull the files from their GitHub repository automatically into the project I'm working on. Once I've downloaded the files into my theme, I just need to enqueue them, and I do this in the same function I use to enqueue other CSS and JavaScript files. After the files are loaded into the theme, all I need to do is start using them. Like Bootstrap, you can even offload the actual files to a content delivery network by using fontawesome's maxcdn dedicated URLs or customize the CSS with Sass or less. But fontawesome isn't the only option available, of course, and it has a lot of stuff you may not be interested in using in a theme. There are a few icon fonts that were developed specifically for WordPress that you can use in your theme also. The first one is Dashicons. Now, Dashicons was written for the WordPress admin as part of the MP6 project that got merged into WordPress core in version 3.8. That means that while the icons weren't originally intended for use on the front end, the icons in the set will have a familiar and consistent look for experienced WordPress users. For example, icons for the various post formats are built into Dashicons natively, so rather than trying to figure out something that would be appropriate for those post formats, these icons were designed specifically to represent those things. Dashicons use the Dashicons prefix, but you can create your own custom CSS rules with the icons by just copying the CSS code from the GitHub Pages site. Want to use the icon font in Photoshop or a slide deck? Click the Copy Glyph hyperlink and copy the character that pops up. If you have the Dashicons font installed on your machine, you can select that font, paste the character into your application, and you can use the icons in any kind of project you want. Dashicons is always growing, and new icons are being added all the time. Now, if you're looking for something that was built more for the front end, you're in luck. A team of WordPress designers also built a GPL-licensed icon font called Genericons. Genericons is a universal icon font built for the front end with many social networking logos, icons for many of the WordPress post types and formats, as well as some icons for media player controls, settings, shopping carts, and more. While Genericons predates Dashicons, Genericons is intended for use in themes and front-facing plugins. Using the Genericons site works the same as the Dashicons site. You can copy the CSS or HTML code necessary to use a Genericon in your theme, or you can copy the glyph if you want to use it in another application. While Genericons is hosted on Genericons.com, a GitHub mirror exists if you'd rather clone the repo to keep an up-to-date copy of all the changes. The cool thing about Genericons and Dashicons is that they have a pretty similar minimalist look, but you probably wouldn't want to load both icon fonts and their associated style sheets into your theme. Similarly, as cool as fontawesome is, 360 plus icons is a lot, and more than you'd probably ever need. Surely there's a way to cut that stuff down, right? Well, you're in luck, because Fontastic.me does exactly that. Fontastic.me is amazing because not only does it give you access to a bunch of free fonts to use in your project, as well as the ability to pick and choose which ones you want to use, it also lets you upload fonts to your account that aren't already included. Or you can upload SVG files to create new icons to use in your font packages. You can mix and match from different fonts to get a collection of icons that you want to include. You then have full control over the CSS prefixes to use and what each icon will be named. Fontastic.me takes care of building the CSS file to your specifications. With dozens of free and commercial icon fonts to choose from, coupled with the ability to add your own, Fontastic.me should be your last step before releasing your theme or pulling the trigger on your custom site, at least as long as it stays in existence. Once you've compiled a list of all the icons you want in your custom icon font, all you need to do is download the font and the CSS package, and include them in your theme the same way we did earlier. Add a WP-InQ style to the function you're using to load your other styles and scripts. While you aren't able to offload the font and style sheet to a CDN like you can with fontawesome, unless you're using one yourself, the ability to only use those icons that you actually want make Fontastic.me a powerful resource.